BigBear.AI is ripping up 17% today, absolutely crushing it. So, government spending has been exploding in that area, and we've been covering this live almost every morning in our daily live trading sessions. Now, a lot of you have asked me to bring back lifetime access to Stockmate because you didn't want to deal with this subscription. And I heard you. We reopened lifetime access, but I don't know how long. It's available right now, and it's a second link in the description. So if you want to get lifetime access, you can have a look there. Second link below for the daily live trading. So let's take a look at Big Bear. We've seen it make this big move today of about 17%. It was consistently downtrending from about July, and we've been covering it in this downtrend. We saw it trend down. We were looking for 3 stages to reversal. First, we saw this downtrend here, reversing down, lower lows, lower highs, holding below that moving average. Then we started to see it consolidate out here from left to right. This is when we said, hey, this looks like maybe we're going to see a reversal. It's kind of finding support down here around 460, 475. The third stage is what? The third stage, well, we're going for about an 8% margin here, but this is the third stage, which is this reversal. We see it today. It pushes back above that 200-day moving average that's swept in, and now we got new resistance levels here. You can see these levels now at about $6 a share. It's where it's reaching up to today. So we can officially kind of see that it's broken out of the greater downtrend here. It's actually made a reversal now, and we get to see it break back above this $6 price point. So it's $5.99 currently in this movement of holding above this moving average, which is excellent. Now we got to, from a fundamental perspective, take a step back, right? BigBear.AI is holding above the 200-day moving average. We started covering it at $1 a share. Last year, we saw it continue to rally through December, and then by February, it was at $10 a share, pulling down to $2.36, and then through this summer, we saw it get up to about $8 and pull back down from that July $8 price point back down into September here as low as $4.65. So now that we see it start to reverse, a couple things to watch here is we can almost now eliminate this greater downtrend as it appears it's getting out of it. So this greater downtrend that we were in there, we can almost kind of eliminate it there, and we can get rid of some of these lines here and say, okay, it bounced the support. Now we're in a hyper bull trend, and we see it bounce the 200-day moving average and continue to build its market cap up from there. So with BigBear.AI, why are they surging today? It's an AI stock that's up 17.5%, right? They're at $6 a share again. Now RSI is starting to look more on the overbought side with this big push up today. What do we have in store right now? Well, as we see them start to make this big move, there is new levels to watch. So nearest resistance level is where it is now. We'll see if it holds as it is at a level of resistance there. It has a previous resistance it established, I think, on Friday or Thursday at about $5.50. That would be the next level of support for Big Bear. But now getting back up in that $6 range, now they're going to face this resistance here. You got a previous resistance, previous support here about $6, previous support at $6, and then again previous resistance there. So that's going to act as a resistance now. And so with this push up here, we see them get up into this range of $6. They're going to face some resistance at this level. So if we see them break out further, excellent. If we see them pull back, that's okay too. In the near term, like just in the very short term, it looks like they're entering a hyper bull trend with the nearest support level around 580. And we're looking for them to continue above 6 and make their run back up into these levels of about $7 to $9 a share. So this is a great move for Big Bear. We do have long-term positions, just to disclose, at about $2.80 average And to see them bounce to 200-day moving average is indication they are continuing to build the market cap. Why are they building market cap? Just today, we saw them surge in market cap to over 2 billion once again, 2.22 billion, with the news here that Goldman Sachs just acquired 1.99 million shares of Big Bear. This is really exciting, not only because we have this acquisition from Goldman Sachs, but also because the software that we're building over at Mercatus here is we're recently adding financials, news hub, and company info, where you're going to be able to see the holders of the stock in as close to real time as we can get. And so, really pumped to get that out for you guys, along with the AI projections that we are rolling out there. But when it comes to the holders, we see Goldman Sachs increase their position. Institutional ownership has been down to about 33%, as opposed to earlier they were at 50%. We see increased positions, more banks, more institutions saying, hey, let's buy in. Why is this? So we actually kind of skipped some stuff here, but where they're seeing the most momentum right now is their very scan technology. They're a company that's working with the Department of Defense, the US Army. They're partnered with the Pentagon, and they also work in the airports. They have technology that is able to be AI driven facial recognition software that is deployed at major airports like Denver International Airport. We just saw it about 2 weeks ago, including LAX, which we just saw about 2 weeks ago too. I was flying there in LA, and they're at Chicago, they're at JFK Airport. They're deploying even at the gates directly to airlines, and they have a feature-rich solution. Device agnostic, utilize VeriScan on variety of mobile devices, tablets, commercially available hardware, so they are in the software game. They have large language models that are able to identify passenger information, where they're coming from, where they're going, where the threats could be, who they're traveling with. Are there any things about their itinerary, how they're moving, or how they're traveling that would be suspicious? This technology goes through it automatically, and that's why they're seeing more momentum. Now, when it comes to their news and events, they didn't come out with any news today that surged them 17%, other than Goldman Sachs purchasing, which is just a direct result of institutional attracting value. But aside from that, you have BigBear.AI announced on September 11th that they accelerated US arrivals and deployed their VeriScan technology there at Nashville International Airport as well. So they're going into many airports, and not just that, they're building out some of their computer vision that can recognize ships, recognize people going in and out of the harbors, all that good stuff. We were talking about it in Stockmate yesterday, that Big Bear right now, with where they are, they were starting to approach a full reversal, which we mapped out earlier in the video, and that this break above 550 would be the move where we start to see them really surge back up into $7 and be on track to get back up into that $7 to $9 range, which we've seen. So with those levels, you might say, is it just the VeriScan? No, it's not just the VeriScan. One thing we're talking about again in Stockmates is we're looking at the Panama Canal too. You know, they're actually building out infrastructure to manage the solutions of security in Panama. We know it's been a thing where China was having shipping there. There was actually some power struggle where China was starting to set up some companies there that were kind of controlling some of the ports. BlackRock came in, saved the day for the US government, purchased ports in Panama under the nose of China without China even realizing it. And that was kind of like that was a part of the animosity and drama of the tariffs earlier this year when the market was dipping down. And then also, aside from that move, then you have, okay, well, we got to secure this. They want to secure this. They want to have the Panama Canal as it's the only, place you can go between South America and North America by ship without having to go all the way around, past Argentina where my wife's from, and all the way around past Chile and back up to Mexico, right? So Panama Canal is a very key place. It's where the U.S. government actually built the Panama Canal and has really good agreements with Panama, and they needed to secure that. So in securing it, AI-driven solution to strengthen cargo security is a partnership that the CEO of Big Bear announced earlier this past month. So when that was announced, one of the things we were looking at in the computer vision side of things, which we've seen them kind of build out AI related to naval stuff, but what we're looking at was the solutions for not the modeling as much as the predictive intelligence, I think it is. Let's see if it shows up here. Or maybe it's the computer vision, I think it is. And they have something called Arcus. There it is. And it can actually identify different truck or different cars, different people. It could identify different ships coming in and out of the ports. So it's not just that you have the TSA. It's also going to be related to the CEO. The CEO of Big Bear was previously serving as active Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, along with Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is exactly where they get their deals. And when you see, for example, TSA come out with this straight from a .gov article here, where they're looking for potentially granting up to $5.4 billion related to AI-driven threat detection, remote screening, reduced reliance on manual labor. We've gone through it, along with the AI machine learning driven threat detection, biometric ID verification tools. That's exactly what we're just going over, right? So that is why they also have an advantage, probably, is the CEO, the deal maker there, is connected. So we're going to be watching closely the financials as far as quarterly. We're seeing some dips on their net income. Not anything that was real big losses as opposed to what was on paper. The revenue is holding around 33 million, looking to increase more and get them up into 40 to 50 million a quarter. They're seeing increases in revenue slightly year over year, just slightly, about 2% in revenue year over year. But the good thing about their financials, right? Kind of flat revenue. They've had some changes. Now they're expanding and they're just starting to jump into the very scan tech. But when it comes to their assets, they've also grown their assets up to about $600 million in total assets. So cash and short-term investments are up by 440% year over year, a tremendous amount. So 600 million there. If you would like to get more insights into AI defense companies, get the best quantum companies, and surround yourself with other individuals that are investing in the most innovative markets in the world, along with 25 individuals with a net worth over $1 million. Not only do you get our daily live trading sessions, but I'll also send you a free t-shirt anywhere in the world. So we had a lot of people say, Will, the lifetime access is gone. I don't want to pay a subscription now. And I said, okay, we'll make some adjustments. So we've changed it back for a limited time to the lifetime access. If you want to grab it, just simply take a look at the second link in the description. Thanks so much for tuning in. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. If you have comments on Big Bear, drop them down below. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.